The following podcast is an enticing media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast, the EcoPreneur's Edge edition with Mikey Benz. Welcome, Mike. Welcome back, Mikey.
I knew what you meant. But thank you, Nell. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here. I appreciate everything that you're doing with this series, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So for those who don't know me, I'm Mikey with two E's. I'm also known as Metro Mikey. The two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the two things that I care about most. I'm a Harrisburg, Pennsylvania sustainable salon owner, blonding specialist, dance studio owner, and maybe one of my favorite side hustles, if you will, is I'm a life coach to usually 10 or 11 people at any given time. And so with the qualifications that I have, I'm happy to bring my experience to the EcoPreneur's Edge. And I love this series because we kind of split it up into environmental sustainability and business sustainability, two great facets of sustainability. And I think that they can coexist in a lot of different ways. But today I want to speak about the business side of sustainability and specifically some financial tools that we can utilize that maybe we haven't thought about as we get our health together personally, physically. We can start getting our business health in order as well. That way we can lead a long, productive, and efficient career.
Yes. Oh, so well said. Speaking of financial sustainability, we have all facets of sustainability. And if you missed the last few episodes, we spoke about most recently environmental sustainability, and before that, business as an overall sustainability factor. But we're diving a little further into the niche of financial, which I'm really excited to talk about because as we were discussing off air, as they say, Mikey has maybe some vulnerable questions that I've been asked, maybe I haven't been asked before, and I'm really excited to answer them and really open up because finances are something that we don't speak openly enough about. And it's really, really important because it's required for us to live a sustainable life here on this earth.
This is so accurate. Everything that you said. I love opening the conversation to finance because it really can help illuminate maybe some of the behaviors in our life that aren't as sustainable as some others. And so I think there was a rap song that said men lie and women lie, but my business coach always says men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And I took that to heart, and I think it's very accurate. So, Nell, if you're ready, I have some questions for you.
Let's do it.
Okay, number one, this is where I always start. What age do you want to retire?
Ooh, 40? Just kidding. I think in my head, I always just kind of assumed it would be 65.
40 would be great. 40 is doable. I just realized I don't know how old you are, so I'm going to ask you because numbers don't lie.
So I'm actually 39.
Okay, so
I will be 40 in November, so it might be a little lofty, but I don't know. Maybe we'll go with 44.
So we're recording this in August, September, October, and November. So 3 months, we got some lofty goals to set. I like it. I'm 36, and I didn't start thinking about retirement until I was probably late 20s, and I didn't really do anything about it until 30. So I wish I could have done things before that, but I want to retire at age 70, and I can share some things in a little bit about what that is. So 65 and 70, where do you want to retire?
Florida.
Florida. Good old Florida man.
Good old Florida. Florida man, you can always count on for some good old-fashioned entertainment.
The best memes ever, and the best news headlines.
Yes. Please stop taking selfies with alligators. It's not going to work out well for you.
Never has, never will. So that's great. So 65, Florida. I would love to retire. I think my number one place is Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Oh, love that.
It just checks all the boxes for me.
Yes.
What activities would you like to pursue once retired?
Boating, sailing, anything on the water.
Cruising?
No. So I've been on one cruise in my life, and my husband gets motion sickness. And I was concerned about him the whole time. I had ginger with us. I had everything. I didn't have Dramamine because, um, chemicals, some other factors that we talked about in previous episodes. So I had the most natural forms of prevention available to us. And it wasn't him that had the issue. It was me. And I didn't like how I felt on a cruise ship for long periods of time. I felt like my equilibrium was off. So I think I would do boating and sailing in shorter doses.
I like that. All of that was so interesting. However, cruising and boating and water activities tend to have very different price tags attached to them.
Yes, that's true.
And when we're in retirement, we just have to be more conscientious about the money that we have coming in and the money that we've been able to save.
Yes.
Our stockpile, if you will, can dwindle much quicker if we're cruising rather than boating. So, distinct variations there.
Yes.
I would love to focus on art and creative endeavors. Like, I think I'm always going to be doing hair. I just won't always be doing hair for an income.
Sure.
I love painting. I love creating music. I play a couple instruments. So I think that's, and I love creating gardens and landscapes and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the creative endeavors that I don't have time for now will be relatively affordable in retirement.
That's amazing. I love that.
And then my fourth question is, what benefits would you like in retirement?
Ooh, benefits as far as like health insurance and
Medicare, Medicaid, dental, vision, life insurance, all those kind of things.
Yes. I have never actually thought about that. And I think that if I'm financially at a spot where if I do wish to have some type of insurance for sure. And recognizing the fact that I will be older and my body, God willing, will be breaking down, even if I don't think it should be or wanting it to be because of how I maintain my lifestyle now. I do think it's important to have some type of insurance. And even though the healthcare system could also be a whole other section of this series. But yeah, I think that is important.
So everyone's going to have a different journey, and I can't really, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, I'm not a medical provider, and I am certainly not an insurance broker. So all of this is just the best knowledge that I've been able to come up with to help guide the people that I guide. Medicare, Medicaid, supplemental insurance, life insurance. No, the caveat there, great financial tool, is to have life insurance until you can self-insure. If you have your debts, liabilities versus your assets, if you have that itemized and you know what your net worth is, if your net worth, especially in capital assets like cash, gold bars, however you're saving your value, if that outweighs your debt liability, you can self-insure, because were you to perish, you wouldn't be leaving anybody with a bunch of bills.
Right. Exactly.
So life insurance kind of gets into something different than that. And there are plenty of people right now who can self-insure because they just have made all the financial decisions or gotten lucky or, whatever to self-insure. But most of us will need some form of insurance until we can self-insure.
Yes.
But all those four questions, what age do you want to retire? Where do you want to retire? What activities would you like to pursue once retired? And what benefits would you like in retirement? Kind of get me into this game of reverse engineering. So let's do some math here. We're going to pick up our handy calculator that we carry in our pocket that our teachers said we were never going to have.
Yes, because the T85 or whatever that graphing calculator was going to be the be-all, end-all and live in our pockets forever. Yeah. So here we are in 2024.
I believe average life expectancy for women is 79 in the U.S.
Oh.
So we will subtract 65 because that's the age of retirement, which means we have 14 years on average and people are living longer than ever. And by the time we're ready to retire with modern medicine and everything, we'll probably be living even longer. So that gives us an average of 14 years in retirement. At home, if you take your monthly expenditure, let's say, and this will be unique for everyone, but let's say it's $3,500 a month, we're going to multiply that by 12 months. So our average living expense is $42,000 a year. And then we're going to multiply that by 14 years. If nothing changes, if we don't want to make an expense, if we don't want to, gift a college scholarship to our grandchild, we will need, on average, $588,000 to retire.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Go ahead.
That's really for some reason I thought it would be more.
Okay, so let's say we live to be, what is 79 plus 14? Let's say we live to be 93.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. If you were above average.
$1.176 million just for your house. Like this.
Wow.
Not including if you're supporting a kid, not caretaking for somebody. So almost 1.2 million just for yourself. Are you married? It's probably going to be a little higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's see. How many years is that? 28. So we'll multiply that 1.28% to go for inflation in that time, which is an average of 2%. So we're at $1.5 million to retire at age 65.
Wow. Okay, that is closer to what I really kind of thought it would be, but was in denial about. That's a lot of money.
That's not Miami. That's not New York City. That's not even Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Where I'm centered, my monthly average is more than that. So that is in a place where your monthly average would be around $3,500.
My gosh. And this is an incentive for those that are listening that may be in their 20s. Just start.
I was recommended a book that put me on this journey, and I am so thankful for the person who recommended this book, who got me started thinking about the long future, how to play the long game, because it got me right up into what I'm going to share with you all. So our retirement number would be, 1.5 million. Our retirement age would be 65. Life expectancy, is whatever. We did that exercise there. When will you start drawing benefits? So here's the caveat with people who are listening who are getting ready to retire. If your retirement, I forget what the cutoff was, but most people who are getting ready to retire now or have already retired could retire at 62, 65, and 67 for Social Security. If you retire at 62, you get minimum benefits, so you get a lower portion of what you paid into Social Security over the lifetime of your work career. 65 gave you the average or median benefits. 67 would give you the maximum benefits because you waited to take your Social Security. They will give you more because they think that you don't have as much time to take it as somebody who retired at 62.
Right.
If you're in our age demographic, we are allowed to retire at 65, 67, and 70. And that's why my number is 70. Because number one, sometimes I think about how bored I'll be in retirement.
Yeah.
So I want to keep working as long as I possibly can, just because my social health is very dependent on my jobs. And I think going into retirement age, a way to be sustainable is having a great social circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Morbid thought, but as we get older, more people in our social circle will pass away before we do. So for me, having work will be a great way to continue my social health even into retirement age. If I'm 65, I get minimum benefits. If I'm 67, I get average benefits or regular benefits. If I'm 70, I get maximum benefits. I'm self-employed, so it is so stressful to me to think about saving for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an employer matching my 401k. I don't have people guiding me into this and this. And it's like I have to do it all by myself. And that's why this is so important to me too, because I'm like, if I can do it, I know anyone else can do it.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's so important. So, and I don't know that a lot of entrepreneurs think about this even when they're going into starting their businesses. And because that's a huge decision. That should be a huge decision in your decision making about starting your businesses and things like that. And, you know, the way that I kind of got into this, I didn't really even think about it. And I knew I had retirement accounts. I knew I was having a match and things like that. And all of a sudden it went away and I started thinking about life insurance and all the things. And I thought, oh, wow, this just got a lot more stressful. How can we make it less stressful?
I'm about to share with you how we can make it less stressful. So when I'm thinking about all of this, I love to turn it into our fun, fan favorite game of reverse engineering. So if we have $1.5 million as our goal, and we are currently 39, and we want to retire at 65, we're going to take 65, our retirement goal, subtract 39, and that gives us 26 years to come up with that. And this can also seem daunting, but I'm going to make it make sense in a minute. So we have 1.5 million divided by 26 years. So every year, on top of living, we should be saving $57,000 extra dollars for retirement. So hang on. Oh, I lost my number. Okay, so divide that by 26, 57. We're dividing that by 12 months in a year. So that's $4,800 a month that we should be saving. And then we'll average 4 weeks. So that's $1,206 every week. Now, I know most people can't do that on top of what they're already paying for.
Right.
Life, kids, daycare, organic groceries at the store. Look, I know. But that's why if we start now, if we talk about that, especially our entrepreneurs, our solopreneurs, our self-employed business owners, if we start doing things now, we have this magical concept called compound interest. Compound interest is the interest you earn on interest. So as you invest in whatever you're investing, then there's many tools for investing. The interest that you make by allowing somebody else to basically play with your money when you're not using it, gets you money in return. So stock market, certificates of deposit, government bonds, real estate, art, all of those things can, over time, make our money work for us so that we don't have to work for $1.5 million, because it's on top, like living between the age of 18 and 65 costs a lot. Not many people can be like, okay, we're going to pay for that and save $1.5 million.
Exactly.
The opposite, I do want to point out here that compound interest can work against us if we're carrying debt balances, mortgages, credit cards, payday advance loans, something else. I'm forgetting the fourth thing. But those things, compound interest on student loans. A lot of people took out $40,000, have been paying the minimum payment, and the interest is compounding against us. And now they owe $50,000, even though they've been paying on their student loans for 10 years.
Yes, especially those in our generation.
We just have to be so mindful about the money that we are saving or the money that we're borrowing, because that compound interest is working, whether we believe in it or not, or whether we want it to or not.
So true.
And so now we'll get into some of the things I was already talking about, things to start saving for retirement that will help us get to that $1,200 a week that we need to retire at age 65. 401k, self-employed 401k, matching through your employer or not. Like I don't have a match. IRAs, Roth versus traditional. There's different things about both of those. Started investment accounts like Robinhood, things like that can do the same thing without needing our employer to help us.
Right.
Assets like art, real estate, bonds, certificates of deposit. If you go deposit in your credit union or bank a certificate of deposit, a COD, they will give you a standard percentage of interest that, could compound if you do that multiple times.
Right.
Our savings account, we always want to look for bank accounts with high yield savings rate.
Yes.
Some banks don't have them. Some banks have great ones, and other banks have great ones that have stipulations. Like I love my bank; they do high yield savings in my checking account, actually, which is kind of cool. It's a percentage if I use my debit card 12 times a month. So I don't know what kind of kickback they're getting from merchant processors from me using their debit card, but it must be worth it if they're going to give me 2.02%. If I do 12 transactions that total $1,500 or more, I get 4.011%. So I always make sure to get my 4.011%, which a lot of times is more beneficial than doing 1, 2, or 3% cash back on my credit card purchases.
Sure.
Benefits like life insurance, prescription packages, Medicare, Medicaid, and then we have our liabilities like mortgages. I have solar panels that I couldn't pay for in cash. So I believe in being eco-friendly. So I bit the bullet and bought those. So I have a solar panel loan. And then I have my hybrid truck that I have a loan. So those are my liabilities that detract from my retirement that I want to pay off as quickly as possible so that the compound interest isn't, hurting me.
Yeah.
And then things that we can have that are not necessarily like an asset or a liability is Social Security, if it exists by the time you and I are ready to retire now. And then
whole other episode.
So I don't really count that as our retirement. So I want to save my $1.5 million in my own regard.
Yes.
I don't want to count on other things. I don't want to count on children. Our children are not our retirement.
Nope.
And, if you're a business owner, our employees are not our retirement. Our goal is to get out of the business. So we want to be retired.
Yes.
So I'll let you, all I have left is in conclusion. So I'll let you interject anything if you want to.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate the fact that you have obviously invested, for lack of a better term, no pun intended, invested so much time into understanding financial sustainability, especially for retirement. And it's really, really important, especially for those that are younger and listening, to think about their future so that maybe they're not starting, let's just say hypothetically, at 39. And the earlier, the better, obviously. And I think that the assets are truly important, especially real estate. Real estate is one of the biggest ones, I think, that can be so beneficial to us. And I'm also not a financial advisor, and I have very little knowledge of how that system works. But if we want to have any chance of being financially sustainable when we are ready to retire and enjoy life, I mean, this is what we're here for. We're here to enjoy our lives and ourselves and create our own happiness. And I think that this is all really, truly essential. And again, not spoken about often enough. So I appreciate the questions that you've asked, and I hope that listeners will ask themselves those questions as well. And Mikey, I really want to hear what you have to say in conclusion.
In conclusion, I'm going to share a few vulnerable things about myself. So I had a great mentor who said, if you have a goal, no matter what it is, 10x it. 10x it. So let's do that here quick.
Oh, I love that.
So our 10x goal for retirement with this hypothetical scenario is $15 million.
That sounds like so wildly out of reach.
I'm sure Steve Jobs felt the same way.
Exactly.
If he can do it, we can do it. But here's the caveat for that. If we shoot for 15 million and we end up retiring with 4 million, we've already exceeded our goal of 1.5 million.
You're absolutely
right. So it's
right.
a much better place to fail on a 10x goal than it is to hit a 1x goal.
That's the mic drop moment right there.
So with that said, I am Mikey with 2 E's. I care about the environment and everyone. My long-term goal to retire at 70 is $2 million because I want my 1.5 million for me and my husband to live together comfortably for, maybe 14 to 28 years in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to leave approximately $500,000 to a trust dedicated to a board of advisors who will take the interest from that and focus on research and development for economic impacts and disasters and apocalypses that we don't even imagine is coming.
Right.
So
that's beautiful.
With my mentor giving me great advice, my 2 million now goes to 20 million. So that's my retirement goal.
Big goals, and I love it. I love surrounding myself with people that have larger than life goals, and that's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and it's amazing watching those succeed. So I love that for you. I love that for everyone else that's going to reap the benefits of your long-term plans after you've been gone. So, Mikey, thank you for sharing this literal wealth of knowledge today. And please, how can people connect with you? I think I forgot to ask you that on even the last episode, but how can people find you?
I am at Metro Mikey on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, although I don't spend a lot of time there.
Hear you.
So YouTube, where I post my dance, but at Metro Mikey is where you can find me on all platforms. And I do have, like I said, I'm constantly rotating in and out of life coaching clients. So if something that I said resonated, I'm just going to plug my Metro Lifestyle life coaching program. I am always happy to put people on a wait list if I'm full, or I can do a digital consultation for anyone who would love to get into that program. But that's all the places you can find me.
Oh, I love that. I feel like I've received a little bit of life coaching today, because now I'm thinking, and later tonight I'm going to have a discussion with my husband about where are we with our long-term goals. So I encourage all of you listening to do that same thing. Have that conversation with yourself, your family, anyone close to you, and just talk about it. Start the conversation. And so thank you, Mikey, for being here again on this episode. I look forward to the next one. And to all of the listeners out there, thank you so, so much. Don't forget, we are on YouTube. Watch the videos, like them, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a review on your favorite audio platform. That's how we grow at the What the Nell podcast. And thank you so, so much. As always, I will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enticingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.